Hello all, here I am going to present you Management Clause 6.1.3 and Clause 6.2 of ISO 27001 2013. Management Clause 6.1.3 is about risk treatment process under planning phase, and Clause 6.2 talks about information security objectives. In this presentation, we are going to cover risk management process, Clause 6.1.3, that is risk treatment process, risk treatment strategies, then Clause 6.2, that is information security objectives, and then last, references. So, what is the process for risk management? Risk management process can be explained by PDCA cycle, that is plan, do, check, act. In plan phase, first of all, risks are identified. Then these identified risks are assessed, and for mitigating this risk, treatment is identified. Then in do phase, this identified treatment is actually implemented. Then in check phase, risks are reviewed and this treatment process is continuously monitored. And in last act phase, the improvement suggested by check phase are actually implemented. So clause 6.1.3, which talks about information security risk treatment. Organization should define and apply an information security risk treatment process, implementation and operation. This clause responds to risk evaluated in clause 6.1.2e, that is evaluation of information security risk. This clause tells about the results of risk analysis are compared with the risk criteria, and then this analyzed risk are prioritized for risk treatment. All information related to this risk treatment process are documented as risk treatment plan. So, what is the process for risk treatment? Firstly, select appropriate information security risk treatment options by taking account of the risk assessment results. These risk treatment options are covered further. Then determine all controls that are necessary to implement the information security risk treatment options chosen above. Then compare the controls determined in above step with those in Annexure A of ISO 27001:2013, that is A5 to A18. Then verify that no necessary controls have been omitted. After that, produce a statement of applicability, that is SOA, that contains the necessary controls and justification for inclusions of those controls. Then assess whether necessary controls listed in Annexure A of ISO 27001:2013 are actually implemented or not. After that, provide justification for exclusions of controls from Annexure A of ISO 27001:2013, that why these controls are not included in SOA. Then formulate Information Security Risk Treatment Plan, that is RTP. And in last, obtain risk owner's approval of RTP and acceptance of the residual information security risk. So what are the strategies for risk treatment? Risk can be treated in four ways: risk acceptance, risk reduction, risk transference, and risk avoidance. These four ways can be classified using this graph. In this, if impact and likelihood of risk are low, then that risk should be accepted. Then, if impact of risk is high but the likelihood is very low, then that risk can be transferred to another party. Then, if likelihood of risk is very high but the impact of that risk is very low, then we can reduce the risk. And lastly, if impact and likelihood both are high, then that risk should be avoided. So what are risk treatment options? First is risk acceptance. That is, risks are acceptable with current controls implemented. Then, risk can be reduced. Risks are reduced by implementing additional controls. Then, risk avoidance. Risk cannot be reduced with current controls, and so risks are not accepted. So, we should avoid this kind of risk. And last option is risk transference. In this, risks are transferred to other third parties. So, what are documented information for this clause 6.1.3? Organization should retain documented information about the information security risk treatment process. Information about risk treatment process is documented in two ways. First, risk treatment plan, that is RTP, and statement of applicability, that is SOA. Now let's talk about clause 6.2, that is information security objectives. Organization shall establish information security objectives at relevant functions and levels. Information security objectives primarily concerns with three factors: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So what are the characteristics of these information security objectives? Be consistent with information security policy. Be measurable if applicable. Be communicated. Be updated as appropriate. Take into account applicable information security requirements and results from risk assessment and risk treatment process. Now, what are the basic requirements for these information security objectives? These are some of the requirements that are listed out. First, what will be done? Then, what resources will be required? Who will responsible? Then, when it will be completed? And how the results of this process will be evaluated. These all are the requirements for information security objectives. What is documented information for clause 6.2? Organization shall retain documented information on the information security objectives. Information security objectives are documented and should be complied with information security policies that are set by an organization. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information is documented to secure information assets that are hardware, software, people, etc. For more details, you can visit these listed websites. Thank you. This presentation is prepared with the help of I4 Consultancy Services. For more details, you can visit these websites. Thank you.